Today, we are making a density jar. First, you need to know what density is. Density is a comparison of how much matter there is in a certain amount of space. Density is mass divided by volume, so if something has more particles in the same amount of volume, it's going to have a higher density. When something is less dense, it will float on something that's more dense. We're going to look at that in this activity today. For this activity, you will need honey, oil, food dye, a cup with water, and any small objects. First, you want to add food dye to anything that doesn't have colors. Before adding all of your liquids to the same jar, take a moment, pause the video, and think about what's going to happen. Next, you're going to want to add all of your other layers to one cup or jar. As you can see, your jar will have a bunch of different layers. This is because they have different densities. Some of them are heavier and their particles are closer together than others. And now comes the fun part, dropping the materials into the jar. But first, take a guess at what will happen to each object. The first object I dropped in my jar was a dye. It's floating between the two layers because it's less dense than the honey, but it's a little more dense than the water. Next, I dropped in my highlighter cap. Since this floats at the top, that means it's less dense than everything in the jar. I found a bouncy ball, so I decided to try that too. It floats right on top of the water because it's less dense than water but denser than oil. Now, if your parents let you, put even more objects in your density jar and look at how dense they are in comparison to the other liquids in your jar. You can also try it with different liquids such as dish soap. Thanks for coming and doing this awesome experiment with us at MakerGirl. Have a great rest of your day.